All right, let's talk about the Detroit Lions. Look, obviously coming off a somewhat exciting, I'm sure a very nerve-wracking game of victory over the New Orleans Saints. Win's a win, however you can take it. But I think we have to give some credit to the smart roster moves the Lions have been making during the season. And there's one in particular that really stands out and had a big-time performance against the Saints and will have a big-time impact the rest of the year for the Lions as well. Let's pull up the report. This is from NBC Sports. The Lions are a young team. Great reporting, NBC Sports. But they recently added a veteran who helped make a difference on Sunday in New Orleans. Bruce Irvin, 36, made his Detroit debut in Week 13. He had a sack. He had a big hit on Saints quarterback Derek Carr that ended his day. Irvin did it all in only 11 snaps. After the Detroit win, Irvin spoke to PFT, that's Pro Football Talk, by phone. I woke up this morning. I felt like a kid before Christmas, Irvin said. I was excited, just trying to take full advantage of this opportunity because this part of my career, the opportunities are very limited. Just happy to be back, man, and being part of a team again. Helping Irvin's effort with some inside information from the time he spent with then Oakland Raiders and then Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. I play with him in Oakland, so I know when you get around him, he gets rattled, Irvin said. He's a hell of a player, but we knew if we got around him, we could rattle him a little bit. And of course, the Lions would end up knocking Derek Carr out of the game. We talked about the addition of Irvin at the time when the Lions added him to the roster, I think first to the practice squad, that his savviness was going to be key for him, his veteran experience, his championship medal, because this is a young Lions team. This is a Lions team that does not have a lot of deep playoff experience, certainly on the defensive side of the ball. And look, Irvin at this point in his career, he's not the biggest star. He's not the most productive player. But this isn't Madden where winning games is just about throwing the most guys on your team at the highest rating. Irvin, while still relatively productive, obviously got a sack against the New Orleans Saints. His overall talent level is much, much lower than a lot of Lions' current defenders. But his savviness, his experience, his championship pedigree will have a huge impact. And his in-game understanding of the opponents, again, because he's a veteran guy, will, I think, be huge for Lions down the stretch run as they work themselves into the playoffs and hopefully for a long playoff run as well. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the Lions at this point. But before I hand it over to you, Detroit fans, look, another rivalry game right around the corner. You got the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Bears were very frisky in Detroit not that long ago. Give us your prediction in the comment section below. Lions versus Bears this weekend, final score. But Miles, what do you think of everything the Lions are doing right now as they get ready for hopefully a deep playoff push?
Yeah, Nick, I think the Lions are doing a lot of really smart things. They identified an issue. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson is a beast, but around him has gotten noticeably weaker in the past weeks rather. This defensive line, edge rushing, all of that outside of Hutchinson has been a weak point on the Lions depth chart. They made some changes. They made a lot of changes. The Bruce Irvin change, I love it. He made a big difference in the game. Obviously, only 11 snaps, and he's still a difference maker. He's a veteran presence, former first round pick. He has the pedigree to be really good. And I think the Lions knocked that one out of the park. Now, using that as the example, I think the Lions are following another game plan because they've gone after a very similar player, former first round pick, role player, veteran presence when they go after former Steeler Tyson Alu. I think this guy was a really great addition. Let's read that article and we can talk about that as well. It says Detroit Lions have added another veteran defensive lineman to their practice squad. The Lions signed former Jacksonville Jaguar and Pittsburgh Steeler Tyson Alu on Tuesday. Alu's agent, Kenny Zuckerman, announced on X. Alu, 36, is the third veteran lineman the Lions have added to their practice squad in recent weeks. They signed pass rusher Bruce Irvin, offensive lineman Michael Schofield. Mid-November, Irvin, also 36, had a sack in his Lions debut against New Orleans Saints. So, Nick, I think the Lions are targeting a specific type of player right now. They want that veteran presence. They want a guy who's been around for a while because, as the great reporting in the article before this one said, they are a young team. There's a lot of young players on here. So a guy like Alu has a lot to offer in the way of he has been around the NFL. He was a first round pick. This guy has a high pedigree, has a high football knowledge. So he can come into this room, and even if, like Irvin, he plays a limited amount of snaps, there's still some things to contribute. There's valuable insights that they have. I think this is a very, very smart and savvy move by the Lions coaching staff to get this team ready, like we said, for a playoff push.
And they're making moves getting guys who come from winning cultures, whether it's Alualu with the Steelers, obviously the most consistent winning culture right now in the NFL. And of course, Irvin had a lot of success winning a lot of football games with his time with the Seattle Seahawks. And these are guys coming and bringing winning championship cultures. They want to come here. They want to come to Detroit. They want to win. That's why they're going to Detroit to play with Dan Campbell's group on the defensive side of the ball. And look, there is bad news, unfortunately. Excuse me, Aleem McNeil, I almost forgot how to pronounce his name there, is going to IR with that knee sprain. So again, much needed depth piece being added to the fold here for the Lions defensive line. They certainly need the help, but I give a lot of credit to Holmes and the entire front office, recognizing that they are a young team. They need some veteran leadership on defense and going out and getting leadership guys from championship programs, championship franchises, and bringing them into the fold. Not necessarily getting the best guys in terms of maybe just talent level at this point in their career, but getting good, solid winning pedigree guys, because that's really what the Lions need. It really helped them pull off a victory against the New Orleans Saints, and I think will have a big impact for them the rest of the season as well.
Now, Nick, I think that's all well and good, but do you think that the Lions can they survive on getting these guys in here and really can, building this veteran presence? I think this is a short-term thing, but do you think wouldn't this have a really big long-term impact on these young players in here? Because there's a lot of young pass rushers. Like, I think Bruce Irvin can even add to a player as good as Aiden Hutchinson. I think there's a lot of value here for the future of this team and not just for this year. I think this move goes a little bit deeper than we are seeing when you say.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, but not really exactly what you're getting at. I think it's you're bringing in guys here, the Lions are, who know how to win games. Because watching the New Orleans Saints come back against the Detroit Lions last weekend, I had the feeling that the Lions were going to give up the game. And honestly, the same old Lions would have. But you have these veteran guys from championship franchises that know how to win. They help boost the confidence. They help teach the rest of the team to know how to win, to solidify the brand new Lions era that we're in right now. And I think that's the important part. A real important part of this move is that you have guys in Irvin, in Alualu who have won playoff games, in some cases won Super Bowls. They know how to get through a regular season, late season push. They know how to get through a postseason. They know how to win the big game when it really matters. They know how to overcome adversity. That's why you bring them into the fold. And I think it's a lot of credit is due, of course, to Coach Campbell, of course, to GM Holmes, the entire front office for everything they're doing, staying focused on the roster they have, filling the holes they need positionally, but also getting good pedigree guys as well.